Welcome back in, everybody, to Titans Tube. This is going to be our Week 4 picks. As we continue this series, Jake and I, through the whole season, are making picks for each NFL game, and we have on a different guest each week. We try to get on somebody that is in the Titans community, and man, do we have one as good as ever this week with MJ from Sports Fan Entertainment. He is absolutely one of the best. He's been at it for longer than we have. He's a vet. He's an OG. He's an
savvy
old man
vet
on the scene. Man, MJ, thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all, man. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to have you guys in the Titans community, the ever-growing Titans community here on YouTube.
That's right. Man,
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of us. Yeah, I don't think we'll have any trouble trying to find a guest for every week with as many as there are out there. But, guys, if you haven't found him by now, please do go to his channel, subscribe to Sports Fan Entertainment, follow him on Twitter at the MJ Take. It's all good stuff, man. And I got to say, I definitely try to catch your post-game videos every single time, every single week, because it's really entertaining. You give the passion and the energy and more importantly, you give the accurate feeling, and you don't, go too far in your overreactions, your hot takes that a lot of Titans fans do. You keep us grounded in reality, and you tell it like it is. So that's definitely something that I very much like seeing, and I appreciate that. So yeah, guys, go subscribe right now to him.
Highly endorse.
Yes. For sure. All right. Let's see. We're going to be making our picks now, but first we're going to go back and see how we did last week real quick. Jake, we took a dip. We had a really good week 3, but we definitely came back down to earth for this week.
Happens.
I still finished with an 11-5 record. Jake, you and our guest from last week, Chris from Titans and Truth, finished at 9-7. So far,
Titans channel. I do as the team does.
I feel like, you're starting to do that on purpose. That's not the first time you finished 9-7. But overall, I'm in the lead with a record of 34-14. 2 games back is our guest's combined record of 32-16, and then another 2 games back. Jake pulling up the rear at 30-18. Maybe you should try to get away from that 9-7 Titans-like pick, so you can catch us.
We'll get that percentage up. Don't you worry. That's a long season to go. We're only in week 4.
Straight. Yeah, a lot of games yet to be played. So starting off Thursday Night Football, obviously this is coming out after that. But man, MJ is already making us look like a couple of idiots by picking the Broncos while we foolishly went
took
with
the Jets. Oh my
God.
God.
Hey, that boy Brett Ripien, man, he was letting it rip on Thursday night.
He looked good. I agree.
Do they have something in Ripien? It's the Jets secondary. I wouldn't take too much into that.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So the first game on the docket I have here, we've got the 2-1 Indianapolis Colts taking on a very questionable 3-0 Chicago Bears, but that switch to Mitch Trubisky may prove to be the very smart decision in the long run. That could make them a little bit more legit on offense. Hosting the Colts, this is very intriguing because I'm very interested to see how a full week of Nick Foles preparation and gameplay plays out. I will let Jake take this one first because I'm still, man.
You're going to make me go off the bat here. Last week in the picks video, my Bears take was very controversial. And, I'm going to keep the trainer rolling. I think the Bears get to 4-0 here. You'd love to see Nick Foles come in looking great with the visor. I know he took it off, but love the swagger there from your backup QB. But yeah, I'm going to ride this Bears train. Indianapolis, they have a good defense, but they haven't quite convinced me yet. Just for the sake of the fun, I'm going to pick the Bears again this week. All
right. I like it. Going with Bears. MJ, what about you?
I got to go with the Colts here, man. The Colts definitely had their week 1 hiccup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But even in that game, their defense was playing well. There was a couple turnovers by Phillip Rivers in the offense that really set up the Jags to win the game. But they let up 11 points to the Vikings in week 2 and then 6 points to the Jets. And the Jets are the Jets. I mean, make no doubt about it. They stink. But still holding the Jets to 7 was quite impressive. Their defense is rolling. Their offense is more efficient. The Bears, they came back against the Falcons and the Lions. I don't really have much faith in that. Give me the Indianapolis Colts to win this game.
I mean, who hasn't made a comeback against the Falcons at this point? I mean, that's just what they do. Man, I like that. I like that Colts pick. I'm still not buying the Bears. Like you said, I mean, they should be 2-1 easily. They're a dropped pass away from losing that game. Of course, the Falcons come back. And the Colts, yeah, they beat the Jets. They've destroyed the Vikings, which kind of, I think, makes us look pretty bad because we've had several chances to lose that game against the Vikings. But I think this will be a better test for the Colts, but I still think they're the better team. I'm also going to go with the Colts. Man, would like to see a loss there, though. Bears, if you could help us out there, knock them down a game, that would help the Titans out. But anyway, so 2 for the Colts, 1 Jake for the Bears. Moving on to next game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were they exposed? They looked kind of exposed against the Miami Dolphins last week. Against the Cincinnati Bengals, intriguing team to keep up with because of Joe Burrow, seeing his development progress, coming off a tie against the Eagles. Oh God, okay. Man, you know what? I'm thinking the Jags will bounce back. I think they got a better overall offense to that game. Gardner Minshew was not great against Miami, but I think he'll bounce back. I think DJ Chark, is he going to be back? I might be wrong about that, but that's going to boost their offense as well. I think the Jaguars will get it done on the road there. MJ, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, this was a tough one for sure. I think the Bengals have been more consistent overall this year, whereas the Jaguars definitely appear to be on a downward trend. They are coming off a Thursday night game, so they have more time to prepare for this one. But I just feel more comfortable picking Cincinnati at this point, just because they've been consistently in these games this year. So give me Cincinnati to win this one.
Right. Okay. Jake.
To MJ's point, the Bengals have been in every game thus far. And, you can argue they should have won week 1 against the Chargers. Playing to a tie is, last week to the Eagles. That's a very winnable situation. And they kind of got beat pretty good by Cleveland, but they made up the deficit in the end. And I'm looking for Joe Burrow to get his first win. The Bengals seem just almost quite there to get a win. So, yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati too here.
All right. Let's move on to a couple, I think, overhyped teams a little bit. We got the Cleveland Browns coming off that big win against Cincinnati, and then the Dallas Cowboys coming in at 1-2 with their one win still just being that Falcons game, right, when they came back. So I'm still not sure how for real the Cowboys are. They did put up a better fight against Seattle, I thought, than I expected. They're playing at home, though, and I do like how Dak Prescott, he's slinging the ball around like crazy right now. And I think if this game turns into a shootout, I do think I like the Cowboys in that situation. So I'm going to go with Dallas at home. Jake, what about you?
My Ohio pride might be showing here, taking the Bengals in the last game. But now I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns in my upset of the week. I'm just not a believer in Dallas. I said it last week. And while they did put up a fight against Seattle, it's just I can't quite put it together. And like you said, their win is against the Falcons team who blew the lead in the onside kick. So I'm going to go with the upset special here and take the Browns.
All right, both of us for the –
yeah, that definitely makes sense. The thing is with the Cowboys – oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just repeating what Jake said. Go for it.
Yeah. Right now, the Cowboys, they definitely are one of the more perplexing teams in the NFL. And it makes it even worse that they're in the NFC East, which is once again the NFC least, where I think the Cowboys could go 7-9 and end up winning this damn division. But in this game, they face Cleveland, they're in Dallas. Dallas has been at the very least moving the rock this season. Give me Dallas at the slight edge here, but it could easily go Cleveland's way.
Yeah, and got several great running backs too in that game with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and Zeke Elliott. Man, it could turn into a ground and pound physical slugfest.
Love to see.
But all right, we'll move on here. New Orleans Saints coming out a sluggish 1-2 start. Are they in for a kind of a disappointing season? We'll see. With the Detroit Lions, good for the Detroit Lions last week. Backs against the wall. Matt Patricia gonna get fired eventually, but they came out and put on a fight, taking down the upstart Arizona Cardinals to get their first win of the season. So I like seeing that out of Detroit. But man, I think the Saints are just too much. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my pick out there. I like the Saints. Bouncing back again after a loss last week to Green Bay, that's right.
Yeah.
That was a good game too. So yeah, I think the Saints will still be there at the end of the season. They just, playing a kind of a tough schedule to open up, but I'm going to go with them here on the road. What about you, MJ?
Yeah, I'm going Saints here as well. The Detroit Lions are for some reason contractually obligated to win 4 to 6 games a year that you don't think that they're going to win. That was the one that we saw last week. We won't see it this week against the Saints because the Saints are certainly going to end up being, I still think, a playoff team, and the Lions don't beat playoff teams. So give me the New Orleans Saints to beat the Detroit Lions in this one.
All right, it's 2 for the Saints. Jake?
I'm going to make it a sweep here. I'm also taking New Orleans. There's a lot of talk about Drew Brees' arm strength. He's throwing ducks if it goes along, more than 15 yards. But again, the Lions going to be a 4 to 6 win team, like MJ said, and I just don't see him getting it done here. And Alvin Kamara is playing out of his mind. So I'm going to go with the Saints here as well.
All right, that's our first sweep so far. I think that's a record for making it this far.
I gotta make up some games. I can't keep picking with the general.
That's right. That's right. You're chugging along back there. You gotta make up some ground somewhere. So moving on to, Seattle going all the way across the continent to Miami to take on the 1-2 Dolphins. Who, you got Fitzmagic last week against the Jags. I feel like Fitztragic's gonna be coming back here this week against the Seahawks. It's pretty much a no-brainer for me. I got Seattle. They're too good. Russell Wilson, early season MVP for me. Jake, what about you?
Seattle's the real deal. The way too early NFC Championship pick is, Green Bay and Seattle. So I'm going to go Seattle here. Fitzpatrick's hot or cold, mostly cold, but he's always due for a Thursday night performance, so to speak. Right. So I'm going to go Seahawks here too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also going Seahawks here for sure. Now, I'll tell you, I think the Dolphins will actually compete a little bit in this one because the Seahawks love to do this. They love to go on the road, especially cross-country, let teams kind of compete with them. But ultimately, the current MVP to me, Russell Wilson, only after 3 weeks, but 14 passing touchdowns. My goodness, got to roll with Russell Wilson right now.
Man.
Let him cook.
Yeah. Let Russ cook. Yeah, it's about time. They should have been doing that for like the last 7 years. But anyway, because I think, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league for 6 or 7 years, and I feel like people are just now kind of catching on to that. And it's like, no, duh. Of course he is. They just run the ball too much. Anyway, let's move on to the LA Chargers, 1-2, going another cross-continent trip to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady's Bucs, who seem to have righted that ship after losing that first game to New Orleans to start the season. MJ, we'll go back to you. We'll have the first take there.
Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't hear the matchup. What was the matchup again?
Oh, sorry. LA Chargers at Tampa Bay.
Okay, I got a little lag there. So for me, absolutely got to go Tampa Bay here. Tampa Bay definitely stepped up last week against the Denver Broncos, albeit, against a Jeff Driscoll-led Broncos team. You saw their offense start to get things rolling. You saw Tom Brady really have the offense more in sync, way improved from week 1. They're going to continue to improve along here. Give me the Bucs to win this one and beat that rookie Justin Herbert, who has looked good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Jake, what about you?
I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people are going to pick it. But, yeah, like you guys said, Tom Brady's kind of starting to put it together, which is a scary thought, especially with all the weapons he has down there. I think, is it Godwin who's out for this game?
Yeah, that's right.
He is missing Godwin, but, there's a lot of other weapons on that offense he can use to his disposal. Closer game than expected, but I'm going Tampa Bay as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I got a sweep for Tampa Bay. Like you said, I think Tampa Bay. Okay, we'll go with that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have seemed to settle in with all the new pieces there. So I like the trajectory that team moving forward. So yeah, let's do a sweep for the Buccaneers. Next game, another interconference matchup here, random. Baltimore not going across the country, kind of just going up the street to Washington, D.C. to take on the football team there. Ravens coming off their first loss of the season. Don't think we'll see too many of those, but, man, they kind of got handled more than I expected. I picked the Chiefs last week. I didn't think that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens were going to come up and only be able to put up 20 points, and Lamar Jackson not effective throwing the football a lot. I was a little surprised with that. I think they bounce back here, though. They're just head and shoulders miles ahead of where Washington is right now, rebuilding that team there. I got Baltimore. Jake, what about you?
I have a feeling we're heading towards a sweep, but I'm taking Baltimore as well. I think there was a quote in the press conferences last week that Kansas City did a lot of the schematic things on defense that Tennessee did last year, and that's the formula to beat the Ravens, is to get them down early. They can't win games when they're behind. So if Washington has any chance in this game, they got to come out quick, and I just don't see it. I got the Ravens.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I got the Ravens as well. I'm intrigued to see if Ron Rivera can stir something up to try to get pressure on Lamar Jackson. The Redskins have been getting pressure all season long. Chase Young is already an absolute beast. But ultimately, Dwayne Haskins on the other side, I can't really trust him to do anything against his Ravens defense. So give me the Ravens to win. But we'll see if Ron Rivera picks up on some of the other things that the Titans and the Chiefs notice and really give Lamar Jackson troubles with.
Yeah, he definitely could. I do like Ron Rivera a lot. I think that was a great hire for Washington. We'll see. We'll see if they can put up a fight there. Moving on, we've got the Arizona Cardinals going on the road to the Carolina Panthers. Panthers got their first win last week. Still not crazy about them as a team, though. I think the Cardinals are better overall. I'll go ahead and pick. I got the Cardinals here. They got too much talent on offense. I think they bounce back with a win here. MJ, what about you?
Yes, I also have the Arizona Cardinals. Last week was kind of concerning. The offense was a little out of sync. They're really doing a concerted effort to getting DeAndre Hopkins involved, but that's starting to now result in some interceptions as well. Mm-hmm. Carolina, right now, I just can't figure out Carolina. I still have them as one of the worst teams in the league. If they win this one, they'll be 2-2, and who knows, maybe they'll actually be in it. But I got to go with Arizona right now. They feel like the better team.
Yeah, so 2 for Arizona here. Jake?
I think this is another one where the game is going to be closer than forecasted. A lot of people writing off Carolina, especially without McCaffrey back there. But like you said, Justin, I think the Cardinals are going to be looking for a bounce back performance, especially on offense this week. And the saltiness of Kyler Murray winning Offensive Rookie of the Year last year is kind of wearing off, and he's making me a little bit of a believer. So I'd like to see him get it done. So I'm taking the Cardinals this week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I was pretty salty about that last year too, but I've seen him again more in a couple games this year, and I'm like, all right, he can play. He probably deserved that last year. I just didn't watch him last year. Yep. Liking how he's playing. All right, so that's a sweep, I think, for the Cardinals. So moving on next week, a battle of 2 0-3 teams. Somebody's going to get their first win. We're familiar with both of these teams, because the Vikings, we played last week. Minnesota going on the road to take on the Houston Texans. For Houston, they're probably breathing a sigh of relief, like finally not an elite AFC team we have to face to open the season. Maybe we can get our first win here. Vikings, was it the Titans' defense not showing up or playing well, or do you think they're figuring some things out on offense that's going to carry over to this game in Houston? Pretty intriguing matchup here, so I'll go with MJ. I want to hear your take first.
Yeah, this Houston Texans run defense this year has been absolutely awful, and it was true from week 1. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think he's all right. I think he's maybe even pretty good, but he was not worthy of the performance that he had week 1, especially as a rookie. But the Texans run defense right now is just awful. Zach Cunningham is playing terrible. J.J. Watt's not doing much of anything. So Dalvin Cook coming off of a career high against the Titans run defense last week, which is in and of itself pretty bad. But I think that's going to give him confidence heading into this Houston Texans matchup. I think they're going to dominate the Rock, and I think they're going to get it done, pushing the Texans to 0-4.
Wow. I would love to see that. Yeah.
Wow.
Jake, what about you?
Bill O'Brien's on the hot seat, and now you got to ask the question, is GM Bill O'Brien going to fire head coach Bill O'Brien? Who knows where that decision is going to come from? But, if I feel like he might be coaching for his job coming into this one, and especially, against a depleted Vikings team. If Dalvin Cook can roll, who knows what happens here. But, Deshaun Watson, I feel like he's got to take control of this team. And I think he is the franchise guy in Houston. So I'm looking for the Texans to get their first win here, as much as I hate to say it. I'd love for the Vikings to pull off the win, but I got Houston in this one.
Yeah, I could see it. I think Deshaun Watson, he's still good enough. He's going to drag them to some wins this year. But I feel like it's an every season kind of thing. There's at least one point in the season for a few weeks where like fire Bill O'Brien is trending, and then finally they pull out enough wins to squeak into the playoffs, and it's just enough for him to hold his job for another year. So that could be what's going to end up happening again. But Matt, I like what MJ said about the Vikings coming off a great offensive showing, especially on the ground game, looking to keep that rolling against Houston defense, run defense that's opening up too many holes for the opposition. Justin Jefferson finding his groove. I think he's going to come in and play with more confidence as well. So I think that offense is going to come in and do some good things. And the Texans probably will come up just short trying to match them blow for blow. I'll take the Vikings on the road here too to get their first win. Houston 0-4.
Would love it. Would love to see
awesome. Let's make it happen, Minnesota. All right, moving on. We got the winless New York Giants going to the Rams in Los Angeles. Looks like a pretty lopsided matchup on paper. I think it's going to be probably a lopsided game on the field as well. Rams, man, blew that comeback. What a great comeback they had against the Bills. And then they just let up a late touchdown. Questionable pass interference, but enough details about that game. They're bouncing back here. I got the Rams. Jake, what about you?
I'm also taking the Rams. Are the Rams back is kind of the question right now this season. And I think they are. I mean, they have the roster. They have the talent to do it. They just kind of fell off last year, strangely enough. And like you said, questionable pass interference last week. They should have won the Buffalo game. And you love to see the effort and the comeback there from the Rams. And I have them at home in SoFi this week.
All right. MJ?
Yeah, the question of the Rams back, I'd say to a certain extent, they certainly look like a playoff caliber team right now. Super Bowl contender, we'll see about that, but certainly better than the New York Giants right now, where they're an absolute disaster. Daniel Jones remains stagnant right now as a quarterback talent. They're missing Saquon Barkley like crazy right now. Their defense is a damn disaster. I mean, the Giants are just the whole state of New York. They just have to toss football out of New York, New Jersey, wherever they want to say they are. Just get rid of it.
What about Buffalo? What about the good people of Buffalo?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I guess it's New Jersey because they're technically in New Jersey.
Yeah. Get rid of the Meadowlands.
Take that. Let's just obliterate East Rutherford and MetLife and what's going on up there. Give me the Rams to win this one.
Yeah. Let's get cancel football in the East Rutherford, New Jersey area for 2020. I'm on board with that. All right, so sweep for the Rams. Let's move on. It's going to be a pretty good game upcoming here. AFC matchup, the New England Patriots, led by Cam Newton these days, going to the undefeated Patrick Mahomes Chiefs at Arrowhead. Always a tough place to play. But, man, with Bill Belichick, that he's going to come ready. The Chiefs look unbeatable right now, but if anybody can do it right now, I would think a Bill Belichick-led Patriots team could. With the way Cam Newton's been playing, he's pretty good. I could see a Patriots win here. I've already gone too deep. I didn't mean to pick first. I was going to go with you guys, but I'm in too deep now. So I'm just going to go ahead. I still think the Chiefs are going to get it done at home. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes coming off a 5-touchdown performance against Baltimore. Just restaking their claim yet again that, yes, we are the team in the AFC to beat. And really the whole NFL. I mean, they look well on their way to a repeat of a Super Bowl champions. Just after 3 weeks, of course, anything can change now. But, got to roll with the Chiefs still at home. I'll let MJ pick last here. Jake, what about you?
I was in the exact same boat as you, Justin, coming into this one. I even have New England circled on my sheet, but you can't bet against Patrick.
Can't go against the Chiefs right now. If it's circled, it's in stone.
On paper. Okay, you know what? Let's go with the paper. I'm going to take the Patriots upset because Bill Belichick is going to come in, cooking up a game plan to go against this offense. Who knows if he can actually shut him down, but Cam Newton's got that team playing. And you know what? I got to gain some ground. Let's go Patriots.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I didn't mean to actually change your mind like that. But
no, you're good.
I'm glad you did.
You're
MJ,
good.
What about you?
Yeah, I really want to pick the Patriots here. If this game is in Foxborough, even without fans, I would pick the Patriots there just because they suck you in. You saw with the Raiders last week. Even the Raiders looked like a good team this year. They just sucked them into Foxborough and just sucked all the life out of them. But, man, I can't pick against this Chiefs team right now. I know Bill Belichick, he's been scheming all summer long, trying to conjure up a way to slow down and stop Patrick Mahomes. And this will be a close game. or I think it's ultimately a close game that Mahomes wins just because the Patriots had some losses defensively in the offseason that I think Mahomes will take advantage of.
Right
Absolutely.
on. Yeah. I think this is going to be a great game.
Can't wait.
So moving on here, getting down to the final Sunday games, we have those Buffalo Bills going on the road. This will be a good test for both teams to the Las Vegas Raiders. At 2-1, the Raiders, a lot of people got really high on the Raiders before their game against New England. Like, I saw them in some power rankings. I mean, take those for what you will, but I'd like checking out power rankings just to see where people have teams. But man, the Raiders were like top 10 in so many power rankings after their 2-0 start. Kind of got put to silence against the Patriots. Was that a bad showing from the Raiders, or were they exposed legitimately by the Patriots? Let's go with you, Jake. How do you see this game playing out?
I like what you said. This is going to be another close game, I think, this weekend. A lot of close games this weekend. But I think I got to go with Buffalo in this one. They look gritty. They look kind of like, I dare to say it, like the Titans. They just find a way to win. They're a gritty team that just plays hard and finds a way to win. Be it ugly, be it, Josh Allen throwing 4 touchdowns. But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's in MVP conversations too. So, I wanted to take Las Vegas in the shiny new stadium, but I'm going to go Buffalo here.
Buffalo on the road for Jake. All right. MJ, what about you?
Yes, I'm also going Buffalo, and I also agree this will be a close contest for sure, but it just seems like the Bills right now are just getting those close contests done. They're just finding ways to win, as Jake was saying, and I think that's what's going to continue. I think that trend will continue. For now, they'll probably slow down later on this season, but for right now, they're red hot. Got to go with Buffalo.
Gotcha. Yeah. Kind of like what you were saying, Jake. They can win in multiple ways. They got a couple running backs and Singletary and Zach Moss, or Josh Allen can beat you through the air, obviously, with his legs as well. And they got that tough defense. They're going to be a tough team to beat this year. Definitely, I think I said it last week, but I'm on the Josh Allen train now. His first couple of years and last year, he just had those games where it just didn't seem like he had it all together, and his arm didn't look accurate enough. He didn't seem for real, but he just makes plays. He's just a playmaker, and I really like what I'm seeing from him. I'll go Bills too. Yeah, I'm very hesitant though. I do kind of like how this is his lining up for the Raiders, being at home. Coming off a loss, I think John Gruden's one of my favorite coaches. I mean, I don't think he's the best coach in the NFL, but he's one of my favorite coaches. And
I've been a notable Gruden. I haven't been sold on Gruden since he came back, but really? That video of him doing, in the locker room, getting the guys pumped up, and I think he's kind of knitting that team together. So the Raiders are kind of a wild card right now for me. But we'll see this weekend.
He definitely has them in a better spot than where they were.
Absolutely.
That's a sweep for Buffalo. So Raiders, see if you can pull off an upset here at home. So moving on to the Sunday night game, what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz? Is he looking like he's on his way out maybe in Philadelphia after he had such a great promising start to his career? Oh, the Titans know something about that, about great promising starts that have been derailed over the past couple of years. They have the pleasure of going to the San Francisco 49ers to take on a team in San Francisco that's still just like crushing teams, even though they have been decimated by injuries. So we'll see how sustainable that is. They're the better team though still. Yeah, I'll take the San Francisco 49ers team and how they're playing right now without the pieces on the front seven and their starting quarterback and Richard Sherman and all these players. Kyle Shanahan still got them playing hard. I'll take San Francisco at home. MJ, how about you?
Yeah, San Francisco just built up so much confidence last year, and Kyle Shanahan, the way he's able to assemble the run game. Nick Mullins doesn't even have to do much in terms of offensively. He has Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert just running around doing almost everything for him. Remember, they're missing Deebo Samuel. They don't care. They're just going to run the ball all over you, and there's not going to be anything that you can do about it. Still don't know how they lost the Super Bowl that way, but that's just what happened. They had to live with that, not me. Give me the 49ers to win this game as the Eagles. Oh my God, it's just so bad what's happening in Philly right now. And I think it all stems from Harry Roseman. The guy the last couple of years have not been drafting well at all. And really, I think that's just the main culprit for the entire team. And then Carson Wentz too. I don't know. I think he's lost some confidence as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally see that too. Jake,
sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the honeymoon is over in Philly. They look terrible. You know, they tied a Bengals team who hardly fields an offensive line. And then, you know, the call to punt in overtime, Doug Peterson kind of fallen off the horse a little bit as head coach there. He doesn't seem as confident and as put together as he did during that Super Bowl run. So, and like you guys said, Kyle Shanahan has the 49ers playing. A lot of people are writing them off because of their injuries, but I think, you know, they still are a Super Bowl contending team in the NFC. Yeah, of course, give me the 49ers in the sweep here.
All right, 49ers in the sweep. Excuse me. All right, let's move on to the last game, Monday Night Football. Oh, brother, Atlanta Falcons. What's going on? It's almost like they're doing it to themselves on purpose now. Like how can they just live up to their own, you know, everyone makes fun of them for, and that's giving up leads. They probably won't have to worry about giving up a lead in this game because I don't know if they'll ever get the lead. They're taking on Green Bay in Packers land, where their Packers are saying, hey, we're actually about to become a for real top team in the NFC. Saying that because last year they were a top team in the NFC, but a lot of people were writing them off because they didn't look impressive. I don't know what was going on. No one really bought the Packers last year, and then they did getting blown out by the 49ers in the NFC Championship, so maybe they're right all along. But this Packers team looks and feels different. Aaron Rodgers, maybe he's just pissed off because of that Jordan Love draft pick, but he's playing as good as football as he's ever played. So, yeah, I got Green Bay at home. Give me Aaron Rodgers all day over the Falcons. MJ.
Yes, I actually think the Falcons will compete here. You know, this is their move. You know, they love to, you know, blow leads, but then in games where they shouldn't be competitive, they let to actually show up, and they might actually upset you because they upset some teams down the stretch last season. But ultimately, yeah, I have to go Aaron Rodgers because there's just way too many weaknesses, way too many holes in this Falcons defense that Rodgers pick apart throughout the entire game. But do expect Matt Ryan to compete here, put up 3, 4, 5 touchdowns, and it's going to be a high-scoring contest.
All right. So for the Packers and Jake, you going to make it a sweep?
I also like Green Bay in the shootout. I like the high-scoring prediction there. I mean, albeit one of Rodgers' favorite targets, Alan Lazard, just had surgery, and he's going to be out indefinitely, kind of out of nowhere. He had a great game last weekend against the Saints. But, you know, even without that weapon, they are a little thin at wide receiver. But, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is just slinging it around the yard right now. He looks like vintage Aaron Rodgers, you know, back from the Super Bowl days and when they were contending consistently every year. And they're back to contending. I was not a big Matt LaFleur believer, and I'm sure you guys weren't either, as, you know, most Titans fans weren't. But he's kind of put it together, and I got to give him kudos. And the Packers look great this year, so I'm definitely picking Green Bay here.
So that's a sweep for the Packers. And speaking of Matt LaFleur, and I'm glad you brought that up because I did see a tweet from you, MJ, that I thought was very on point about how, hey, look at what Matt LaFleur is doing with that Packers offense right now. Look at what the Titans are doing with Ryan Tannehill right now with their offense taking off. What's the common denominator? Well, now neither of them are working with Marcus Mariota.
Oh, God.
You know what? That's one thing, too, that I did agree with you for the longest time, MJ, is that I was on the Mariota train for all up until the Denver stop. And then that's whenever the honeymoon, as Jake likes to put it, kind of ended for me with Mariota. But you were a believer, and you defended Mariota for the longest time. And as did I. I thought he was the guy. But, yeah, look at what Green Bay's doing, and now look at what the Titans offense is doing. And is that really it? It wasn't him.
And we're in good hands right now with Mike Vrabel, but Matt LaFleur was the head coach I wanted. A good, good-looking, young offensive head coach in Tennessee would have been nice. But
hey, Mike Vrabel's
we're still doing well with Mike Vrabel, so we're doing all right.
Yeah, he's doing all right so far. Maybe another conversation is him calling the defense, and that's what you were talking about in your post-game reaction too. Let's get some Shane Bowen or the inside linebacker coach.
Jim Haslett, yeah.
Jim Haslett guy, yeah. Let him have a shot at it. They can't do much worse with how the defense is playing. So since there's no Titans game this week, we save the Titans game for last, but they're not going to have a game. COVID, it happened. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to just, for fun, just if they were playing, I feel like this would have been a bad matchup for the Titans right now with how the Steelers were playing. I think this postpone actually kind of does play into the Titans' favor, just looking at it from a football perspective. But right now, yeah, I think these teams are kind of trending in two different ways. I do not want to see that Steelers offense right now with how the defense is playing. So I think this came at a good time. I could definitely have seen the Steelers win, and they could have won big, too, at the same time.
Yeah, especially with no week of practice forecasted, and, they might have played Monday night or Tuesday night, as much as I'd love to see Tuesday night football.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been ugly. I believe in Mike Vrabel, going back to that conversation. I think he's a great coach, especially in times of, turmoil and the whole COVID sweeping the entire locker room, it seems like. Let's just keep our fingers crossed for negative tests coming into this weekend. And I'm going to preemptively take the Titans over Pittsburgh in Week 7.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I definitely was going to pick against the Titans here, especially considering the history the Steelers have had over us in the Mike Tomlin and Big Ben era. They just see that Titans blue and they get hungry, And they've been playing slightly better than us this season, not markedly better. They struggled a little bit with the Broncos, as did we. And they were in Pittsburgh when they struggled with the Broncos. And they were facing Jeff Driscoll when they struggled with the Broncos. But overall, the way their defense was playing, I believed way more in their defense than our defense. And our offense is slightly better than theirs, but I just think Big Ben was just going to eat on our secondary anyway. So I think this comes at a perfect time. It allows for the Titans to get healthy. A.J. Brown, Dory Jackson, Taylor Lewan, hopefully they'll all be back for that potential Week 7 matchup. And then more importantly, hopefully we can get a lot of these players off of this COVID-19 list. Hopefully no more positives come, because this Week 5 matchup against the Bills, that is now in jeopardy. We're talking now 9 current Tennessee Titans that are on the COVID list, but 8 that have been put on the list this week. So this is a true outbreak that we're seeing. If anything else, we should have antibodies for the rest of the season. I guess that's one argument. But that's about it.
Yeah, really. So, because just now, Adam Humphries and Cam Batson tested positive. So even if they do, there's that 10-day window where they have to be clean. They're not, like, the Bills game in Week 5 is already less than 10 days away, so they won't be available for that game anyway, right? So we're already looking at players missing that Week 5 game.
Yeah.
Hey, John Robinson, I'm 6'2". I'll play wide receiver. I don't mind.
Sign us up. Put us in, coach.
Yeah. I mean, eventually that's probably what they're going to have to do. Just like you're going to have to put bodies out there. Like, we can't postpone any more games. So it could get ugly. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this issue just stays home with the Titans, and then they get over it, and then we don't have to worry about that anymore. Hopefully nothing happens with the season getting canceled, because it's been a fun season so far. I love having football back, and I would hate to see it go away. Obviously, yes, of course, being safe and in a pandemic, you want to do the right thing, but I want my football at the same time.
Selfishly, I feel like everybody feels that way.
Very selfishly, yeah. Yeah. Man, so that's going to wrap up our video. Man, MJ, thank you so much again for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Guys, please, again, check out his channel, Sports Fan Entertainment. Follow him on Twitter at the MJ Take. One of the best to do it. One of the best Titans follows out there. Is there any other social media, MJ, or I'll just let you have the final word and let you wrap this thing up?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, thank you guys for having me again. Yeah, the YouTube channel is at Sports Fan Entertainment. Twitter is at the MJ Take, and any other social media you want, you can find stemming from those.
Sweet.
Right on.
Man, sounds good. Man, you guys enjoy your football Sunday. Hopefully we'll see how we do with our picks. Let us know what you guys thought. Leave us a comment. If you liked our stuff, upvote, share, subscribe,
all that jazz.
All that jazz. So until next time, guys, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next video.
Have a good weekend, y'all.